Sha'Carri Richardson is preparing for the biggest season of her career. But just as her 2026 training heats up, a courtroom headline follows her onto the track. She has pleaded not guilty to excessive speeding in Florida, and now fans are asking one simple question. Can the fastest woman in the world stay focused when the noise around her keeps getting louder? For some athletes, that kind of distraction would signal trouble. For Sha'Carri Richardson, it feels like another test in a career defined by them. The legal situation is still unfolding, but her team has made one thing clear. Training has not stopped. The 2026 preparation cycle remains intact. The workouts are scheduled. The strength sessions continue. The sprint mechanics are being refined. According to those closest to her camp, nothing about her competitive roadmap has changed. Still, fans are divided. Some believe this moment will sharpen her edge. They argue that she has always performed best when doubted. That pressure fuels her. That criticism gives her focus. They see the headlines as noise that will ultimately push her to prove herself again on the track. Others are more cautious. Sprinting at the highest level requires more than raw speed. It demands mental clarity. Reaction times are measured in hundredths of a second. The start alone can determine a race. A slight lapse in focus can mean the difference between gold and fourth place. When outside distractions grow louder, the margin for error shrinks. To understand why this moment matters, you have to understand where Sha'Carri stands in the sport right now. She is not chasing relevance. She is defending it. As a reigning world champion in the 100 meters, she enters 2026 with a target on her back. She is no longer the rising star surprising the field. She is the benchmark. Every sprinter lining up against her has studied her races. They have analyzed her explosive starts, her powerful drive phase, her ability to hold top-end speed under pressure. They want to beat her because beating her means something. The Diamond League circuit in 2026 promises to be unforgiving. The global sprint field is deeper than it has been in years. Emerging athletes are hungry. Veterans are determined to reclaim dominance. Every meet carries significance. Every race adds to the narrative. That context makes this legal distraction more than just a headline. It adds another layer to an already intense season. But elite athletes develop an ability that separates them from the rest. They compartmentalize. They build mental walls between personal matters and professional execution. When they step onto the track, the outside world narrows into lanes and starting blocks. For Sha'Carri, that compartmentalization will be crucial. Her brand has always been bold. She embraces attention. She does not shy away from cameras or commentary. That personality has made her one of the most recognizable figures in track and field. It has also made her a lightning rod for opinions. When you carry that kind of visibility, everything becomes amplified. A win becomes a statement. A loss becomes a storyline. A legal issue becomes a national conversation. The question is whether that amplification affects preparation. Training for a sprint season at this level is calculated down to the smallest detail: acceleration drills, resistance work, plyometrics, recovery protocols, nutrition timing, sleep cycles. Everything is structured around peak performance windows. A disruption in routine can ripple through the entire buildup. Her team insists that routine remains steady. That is a positive sign, because the physical foundation of sprinting does not change overnight. Months of conditioning, technique work, and strength development build the base that carries an athlete through competition. If her training blocks remain uninterrupted, her physical readiness should remain intact. The mental side is more complex. Pressure changes when you are the champion. Early in her career, she raced with something to prove. Now she races with something to defend. That shift brings its own psychological weight. Opponents are studying her tendencies. Analysts are predicting her times. Fans are expecting dominance. Every race becomes a referendum on her focus. The excessive speeding charge adds a layer of scrutiny. It creates press conference questions that have nothing to do with block starts or race strategy. It invites commentary from people outside the sport. That kind of noise can be draining if not managed properly. Yet history shows that Sha'Carri Richardson has navigated adversity before. Her career has included suspension, public criticism, and moments when doubters questioned whether she would return to elite form. Each time she has responded on the track. Her performances have often spoken louder than the narrative surrounding her. That pattern is part of why some fans remain confident. They believe this moment will follow a familiar script. Controversy rises, doubt spreads. She trains quietly. She steps into the blocks. The gun fires. The result silences the conversation. But the 2026 field is not waiting for her to sort things out. The Diamond League calendar demands consistency, multiple races across different countries, travel fatigue, shifting climates, tight recovery windows. Every event tests not just speed, but resilience. Consistency is what separates champions from stars. To defend her position at the top, she will need sharp starts, clean transitions, and the composure to handle tight finishes. She will need to block out crowd noise and media questions. She will need to trust the work she has put in. The concept of having a target on her back is not just symbolic. It affects race dynamics. Competitors take calculated risks against the favorite. They push harder through the drive phase. They refuse to concede position. They know that beating the reigning champion can redefine their own careers. That intensity elevates every race she runs. At the same time, fame brings opportunity and pressure in equal measure. Sponsors, endorsements, media appearances, and public expectations surround athletes at her level. Managing that ecosystem requires discipline. Her team's public stance suggests confidence. They are signaling stability. They are reinforcing the idea that training remains the priority. That message matters because perception influences momentum. If her early season performances are strong, the legal headlines may fade into the background. If she struggles, critics will connect the dots whether or not the two issues are related. Sport rarely allows nuance. It often simplifies complex realities into simple conclusions. Win and you are focused, lose and you are distracted. But high performance is rarely that linear. An athlete can carry personal stress and still execute at an elite level. The human capacity for compartmentalization is remarkable. Many champions have proven that adversity does not automatically equal decline. For Sha'Carri, 2026 becomes a season not just of speed, but of maturity. Can she navigate heightened scrutiny with composure? Can she respond to questions without letting them infiltrate her preparation? Can she maintain the intensity that made her world champion while refining the discipline that sustains dominance? Her style has always included confidence and expression. That identity resonates with fans who see her as a modern face of track and field. It also attracts critics who prefer quieter champions. That tension will not disappear. The Diamond League will provide the clearest answers. The starting line reduces complexity. 8 lanes, 1 gun, less than 11 seconds. In that space, there is no room for courtroom discussions or social media debates. There is only reaction time, power, and execution. If she delivers fast times early, momentum will shift back toward performance. If races become close or inconsistent, the questions will multiply. Athletic careers are shaped by moments like this. Moments where external noise tests internal focus. Moments where reputation meets reality. Moments where preparation either withstands pressure or cracks beneath it. The encouraging sign for her supporters is that her training cycle has not been publicly disrupted. Stability in preparation often translates to stability in performance, but the ultimate proof will come under stadium lights. The 2026 season offers her a chance to redefine the conversation once again, not by addressing headlines directly, but by controlling what she can control: her start, her stride, her finish. Fans who doubt her see vulnerability. Fans who support her see motivation. The truth will unfold in races measured by hundredths of a second. Sha'Carri Richardson has built a career on defying expectations. She has shown that setbacks do not automatically dictate outcomes. She has demonstrated that confidence can coexist with resilience. Now she stands at another crossroads. Legal proceedings moving forward in one arena, championship preparation moving forward in another. The world of track and field will watch closely as the Diamond League season begins. Each race will carry more than split times. It will carry narrative weight. Can the rock star of track maintain focus as the spotlight intensifies? Can she transform scrutiny into strength once more? The answers will not come from statements or speculation. They will come from the blocks. When she settles into her stance and the stadium falls silent, everything else fades. In that instant, it is not about legal charges or divided fan opinions. It is about execution. And execution has always been where champions reveal themselves. The 2026 season will determine whether this chapter becomes a footnote or a defining test. Either way, Sha'Carri Richardson is stepping into it at full speed.